Sunline Pro here, Todd Castledine. We are here on the East Texas Lake. Awesome bite. Every one of them is just eating this thing. I mean, every one I catch keeps on looking better and better. And might get a bite right here. It all looks different with all that rain. It's a lot clearer than this the other day. That's not what we're after. That was unexpected. She ate it. There you go. I ate that one. In there. All right, Sunline Pro here, Todd Castledine. We're going to break down a little bit about frog fishing. Right now I'm throwing pub and perch. This fish just ate it, and really good one too. It's right in the middle of summertime, so we've got a little post-spawn action going on here. And what I got going on here is throwing my pub and perch on braid. I think I was probably one of the first ones that really started throwing the plasma braid. I got it, God, I remember the first time I used it was actually in the forced woodcut. I think the first year I ever made it. And so, been throwing it that ever since, probably, I don't know when that was, 2018 or 19. I've been a guy who grew up around Rayburn, throwing braid, throwing frogs forever. So I've been through all kinds of braid. This is by far the longest I've ever used a single braid. Like I've gone through, sometimes I go through braid for a year or two and I don't like it. I'll be honest with you, the main reason is I've broke almost every single braid I've ever used. Now that, I say that in the fact of, I rarely break new braid, but we buy braid for a reason. We want to put braid on a reel and put it on there 1 year and like have it for another year, right? We want to fish it all year long. We don't want to be changing out braid. I think that's the one beauty of it. But you leave braid on there for a certain while and it's going to break on you. This is the only braid I can put on here 2-3 years and never have to worry about it breaking. And so that is why I've been throwing plasma now for, I think it's going on 8-9 years. So that's never let me down. Awesome bite. Got in there eating it too. And it's gone. We are here on the East Texas Lake. Gosh, she ate it. Kind of in the middle of the summertime. It might not look like it. As you can tell, some of these fish, that last fish was beat up still. This one looks like it's spawned about 3 months ago. We've had a lot of rain in the area. A lot of rain, super cloudy. We kind of didn't know if we were going to get out here today. And I'm just throwing this pop and perch kind of down the bank, and the last 2 bites, they're really not on the bank. They're really kind of far off the bank. But just kind of focusing, I think there's always still a little bit of shad spawn going on, a little bit of brim beds going on. Probably by the way they're hitting it, they're probably more on brim beds because they're so far off the bank by the time they hit. But right now, this is actually a rod. This is a 7'3" heavy rod. It's my frogging rod. I have a couple of them like this. This is actually a prototype of a signature series rod I had. This is their Super Duty. I usually have it on 300, but my buddy from Lou's was like, hey, try out the regular Super Duty. And then I have it on 60-pound Sunline plasma braid. And this has been my frog setup now for about 10 years. I've not switched anything. The rods look a little bit different because, like I said, I had to get Lou's to make me a frog rod that I really liked. I wanted something probably a little bit heavier than what most people frog fish with. I thought it was normal, but I'll be honest with you, from talking to people, They usually have a little bit lighter rod, but if you live down here, this is open water stuff, so this is no big deal. But man, we throw it in a lot of nasty stuff. And so most of the frog rods I've seen really won't get them out of that stuff. Plus, we catch a lot of 6 to 10 pounders down here. So we need a rod that's a lot stiffer than your regular little 7-foot frog rod. So that's what we got going on today. Hopefully we can catch a couple more big ones. It begins dominant. I mean, every one of them is just huge. This is pretty awesome. That water's come up. Usually it's dirt shallow right here. And this is really cool too. I can see bumps in their stomach where like they've got stuff in there, like probably big bluegill. That one, I mean, every one I catch keeps on looking better and better. All right, so this is the popping perch I designed by Strike King. And it was funny, even this week I was down at the Arkansas River fishing with some buddies who throw this thing, and they got over there and they started cutting the tail just a little bit. I said, hey, quit messing with that thing. And they're like, you don't cut the tail? I'm like, no, I don't cut the tail. I don't do anything to this popping perch for a reason. One is the tail is super important, and I want it this long. And everyone every once in a while was like, yeah, but man, the profile, and they bite the tail. None of the ones that we care about catching just bite the tail. Like, they bite the whole thing and they inhale it. And they inhale it because the frog and the popping perch, in my opinion, works better than other frogs because of the tail. So when we designed this thing, the best analogy I can say is that we think of it like a kite tail. If you take a tail off of a kite, the kite goes everywhere. It goes crazy. It's all over the place. The tail on a kite maintains it and makes it be able to fly, and you can control it the way you want it to. Without the tail, it's all over the place, right? So with a lot of these baits, what I'm trying to do is we designed this so I could work it as fast as possible, okay? But the faster you work baits like this, the more, and you pop it really quick, this mouth, right, on it, doesn't have time to get in the right spot again for you to work it. And so if you see them, some of them kind of dip, go under, do certain things. The tail actually, when you pop it, it lets you pop it the right way, and then it brings it back to normal. And what I mean by normal is you pop it, that tail drags it back and gets it in the right place to when you pop it again, it makes the same pop, so you can control every single aspect about the popping perch. If you cut the tail, it'll start acting, it's kind of all over the place. It's more wild. But like I said, the ones we're after to catch, they don't care about that tail being long. They eat the whole thing. If you notice, every one of them is down their throat. So I always tell people, don't mess with it. We on purpose designed it so you didn't have to mess with it. Comes right out of the package like that. That's the way I like to throw it. I mean, that's why. Like, that is why right there. It's becoming one of my, and just to come out here and catch freaking fish like this. And in the time of the year, because a lot of times like this bite dies by the summertime. I've been that guy, I think, that like, if you pick out the 3 things people know me from, it's like sight fishing, frogging, and kind of that hybrid hunter stuff. The frogging is kind of what, if I had my choice, I would frog. This is all I do. Like, it's all I had to ever do again and pick my one thing to do, it would be frog fishing. So I try to do it as much as possible. And I've kind of got it figured out as like when I can get away with doing it. There's extremes, obviously, and it's kind of my fallback in the sense of, if I don't know a place or a lake to go do it on, or I don't know how to catch a fish, I'm gonna pick up a frog. Like, that's gonna be the first thing I pick up. And it's gonna tell me a lot about what's going on. Like right now, it'll tell me how shallow a fish will be, right? I mean, that I can basically see bottom up there, water's in the 80s, you know? And It's summertime. Like they should be out, everyone's throwing around piles and stuff, and that fish is in a foot of water up there. So I kind of, obviously, I always tell people, like, when you catch fish on them, if fish are up shallow, you can catch fish on a frog. I'll catch them sometimes pre-spawn, and you won't catch very many of them mostly, but they'll be big ones. You kind of have to know where they're at because you're going to have to go slow, but you can catch sometimes the biggest fish you'll ever catch will be on it. All through the springtime, certain lakes are really good. You can catch them off beds. You can catch those ones that are, you know, trying to get on the beds. I like doing it there's a lot of hit and miss to those. You have to worry about the days. You have to worry about it getting cold. Sometimes they'll only bite when it's cloudy, things like that. After the spawn is pretty much like on beds, and right after it, like garden fry, then it's like garden fry, shad spawn, brim beds. Like one of those things is going on after the spawn for the next 2 to 3 months. And so I would say that's your most consistent time to frog. The summertime can be hit or miss depending on the lake. You know, sometimes they don't want to get up there shallow. Sometimes there's nothing to throw at. If you look, this lake, even though it looks real fishy up there, if that water comes down 3 or 4 inches, there's nothing to throw at. Like, there's really nothing down this bank right here to throw at. So a lot of lakes get like that. And then in the fall, it gets to going again. You know, heat, like August, September is the other time. It's sometimes probably the only other time I can catch really, really giants on it. And you probably wouldn't think that, but like they get up there that time of the year. Big ones start to roam really, really shallow. And we catch them a lot. I think it's probably the one time most people don't throw a frog. And I like to throw a frog during that time. It can sometimes get more consistent October, November. You can catch more sometimes, but maybe not as big of ones. That is kind of the way I look at it. There's not too many lakes I don't think I can go throw a frog on. Almost any time from after the spawn till the fall, there's always a place you can probably catch a fish on it. You just have to be kind of, I would say, creative with it. You know, you have to really think outside the box. Sometimes it might be docks, shade lines, things like that.